What's going on, y'all? Thanks for checking in the Khaliis Take. You know what to do. Hit that like, subscribe button. Also hit that notification bell just so you can get the newest and the bonus content first. But hey, let's just go ahead and jump right in. So I was reading Sports Illustrated and I noticed that there is a possible chance that the Clippers might bring back one of their former players. Now, of course, this is a former player who didn't play long with the Clippers. His stint was very short with the Clippers. I thought it should have been a little bit longer. But, I mean, of course, they felt like they made the right decision at that time, and they stuck with it. So that's that. But now there's reports on Sports Illustrated and a couple other sites that I was looking at where it speaks about there's a possibility for a reunion between the Clippers and Boogie Cousins. If you don't know him by that name, it's DeMarcus Cousins. And, you know, we've seen DeMarcus Cousins these last few years been going through 10-day contracts, 1-year contracts, or these last couple years been going through basically the last couple years, you could say Boogie has just been, you know, a journeyman, honestly. So, and the way he started out in the NBA when he first came, you know, rising to a star player, possibly being a possible superstar where he was going with his career until he started having injuries, you know, late in Sacramento and with the Pelicans, I believe, with the Achilles, I believe he had or something like that. And it just seems like, you know, he can't find a home, you know, right now. But if I were the Clippers, you know, I definitely would, you know, be interested in this move here because, as I said before, I think the Clippers need another big man. I mean, I just don't think Zubac can, you know, hold it down all by himself with, you know, Moses Brown and maybe one other guy on the bench or something like that. I mean, I just think they need one more big man. I think they need more depth in that center position. And the reason why I say that mainly and mostly is because, like I said, that's the thinnest position that they're, you know, thin in. Basically, that's the position that they're slight in the most. Every other position is filled: power forward, small forward. You know, the point guard now, especially shooting guard. You know, you got, you know, rotational pieces there. You know, and good quality backups there. But you don't know what type of backups you have after Zubac with the big man position. It's kind of like hit or miss, up in the air, question mark, not really sure. So with that being said, having a big man or adding a big man with the likes of Boogie Cousins, you're adding a big man with a lot of skill, versatility, and he can knock down a jumper. And, you know, Boogie is not, you know, as mobile as he was, you know, a few years ago before he started, you know, accumulating injuries and things like that. But he's still a very good, solid big man who can give you about 17 and 8 a game. You know, he can do that. If he's given the minutes, Boogie can give you 17 and 8 a game. He can do that if he's given the minutes and if he can stay healthy enough to do that, you know what I'm saying? But with the Clippers especially, they wouldn't be looking to get that type of production out of him. I mean, if they can get maybe 10 and 6 out of him, you know, with the minutes that he would get if he came back to the Clippers, it would be feasible for them because they can get around about the same amount out of Zubac. So if they can get 10 and 6 out of Zubac, maybe about 10 and 6 or I don't know, 8 and 8 out of Boogie Cousins or something like that, along with Moses Brown chipping in a little bit, something like that, you know, that would be a good rotation for the big man center position that they have, you know, because they lost Hardenstein, so they don't have an energy type guy coming off the bench the way they did, you know, and bringing that spark every time. And so with that being said, adding somebody like Boogie Cousins will be more than feasible. As I said earlier in this video, I don't really think they should have ever let him go. I thought they should have kept him. I thought he was good with them. I thought he fit good with them. I liked the edge that he brought to the team a little bit. You know, Boogie still has an edge to him. And, you know, he's not quite how he was at one time, but he still has a little bit of edge to him, and he still is, you know, a household name in the NBA, you know. So I think adding him would just give them a little bit more depth in that area and make them a little bit more, you know, well-rounded as a team. And that's what the Clippers would want to me. And there again, you have to look at it from the most logical standpoint. Boogie won't cost much to bring him on. You see, like, because he's been through 1-year contracts or less or 10-day contracts and all that stuff, it's not going to cost a lot to get Boogie to, you know, add him to the roster. So, I mean, you know, you're not paying out that much to get him. And on top of that, you're bringing a big man to the team that's already familiar with the structure and how things go. And he's already understanding, or he understood when he was with the Clippers the first time about a year ago. He understood what his role was, and he accepted it, and he was okay with it. And when you have that in the locker room, that really is a good thing, because if people buy into the process, if people buy into what their role is, it just allows them to play with more confidence, and it allows you to coach them a lot easier, because you know what you can expect out of them. You know what you're going to get out of them on a consistent basis. And on top of that, you know that this player is capable of doing this. And that's what really makes Boogie, a good piece for the Clippers. They know what he's capable of doing. They know what they can get out of him. And they know anytime he steps into the game, he's going to give you valuable minutes, because he can score still. He can't score maybe like he could a few years ago, but he can still score at a decent clip. Like I said, if he's given the minutes, he can give you 17 and 8, 17 and 9. If he's given the minutes, and if he can stay healthy enough to give you those minutes consistently, you know what I'm saying? He can do that. So, I mean, you know what type of big man you have in him, and you have more versatility in Boogie Cousins rather than Zubac. Zubac is a old school in the paint type center, whereas he throws up hook shots and get putbacks and tap ins, all that type stuff, get extra rebounds, stuff like that. And sometimes he does get aggressive and dunk people in the rim. So I mean, with that being said, you got a big guy that has a little bit of force to him, but you also need to have a little bit of mixture and have a big man like a Boogie Cousins who can step out and knock down a 17-footer, possibly knock down a three, because Boogie can shoot threes too. And then on top of that, like he still commands a presence in the paint. He still can, get some extra rebounds. And like I said, he can, you can throw the ball into the paint, into Boogie where he is, and he can go to work himself and operate, because he's one of those big men who can operate on his own, along with Zubac at times. So, I mean, the versatility they will have in that area is very crucial if they get DeMarcus Cousins, because they've lost some very good, valuable, crucial pieces in regards to Isaiah Hartenstein. As I said, he was a good motor, high energy, high motor guy coming off the bench that gave him a spark every single night. And he was a big part of what they did last year when they didn't have Kawhi and PG. He gave him a lot of energy and stuff like that coming off the bench. And when he was in there, he was definitely, the life of the party, so to say. And then, they lost Serge Ibaka, by letting him go to the Bucks, where I thought that really gave the Bucks a better option and a big man, or more versatility in their big man roster. And I think it just took away from the Clippers. So, I mean, adding DeMarcus Cousins back definitely can't hurt. And I definitely hope that DeMarcus Cousins finds a home in LA, with the Clippers. Because like I said, I think, he would be a good fit for them, because he was already a good fit for them, I thought, the first time he was with them, which was about a year ago. And I think that they just, he would just pick right back up where he left off with the team. And honestly, he would pick back up in a lot better fashion, because this time he might actually get more minutes than what he got before, because like I said, Serge Ibaka was there at the time, I think, and you had Hartenstein there, I think, and other pieces there. So maybe now he would get more minutes with the Clippers, which would benefit him more in getting his footing back to the player that maybe not that he once was, but at least get closer to that. The more and more he plays, the more confidence he's going to build, and the more he can find a place where he can find a home, Boogie might play a lot better. And like I said, you'll be able to utilize somebody like him, especially in the playoffs, because he has experience. He's been in the league. He's been one of the, top 10 players in the league, top 15 players in the league at one time. And he knows what's expected of him. And he's definitely going to go out there and give you his very best, because he knows he's pretty much on his last legs in the NBA in regards to being a household name. Because, if he can't, secure or find a home soon within the next year or two, he might actually be out of the NBA for good. And he knows that. And Boogie is a, very smart guy. So with that being said, I expect him to, come to the Clippers if they decide to go along with this and bring him back. I expect him to come there and play the same way he did before and just pick up where he left off. So as I said, hopefully we'll see what happens. But adding DeMarcus Cousins is definitely not a bad idea if you ask me, because like I said, they need more depth in that area. And why not have more depth in that area with a big man like him that still has versatility, and a big man that they already had a year prior to the day, I believe, and he already is familiar with the structure structure and the process, and he's already familiar with everything that the Clippers are trying to do in regards to, how what his role is and everything. So it would just be a perfect fit all over again, or a good fit all over again, like it was the first time. So if I'm the Clippers, hey, go through with it, add more to your team, and better your chances of winning championship, because that's the ultimate goal right now, and nothing else comes before that. So with that being said, if the Clippers can make another move at it, go ahead and do it, because it definitely can't hurt. You know what I'm saying? Your chances going forward in trying to acquire a championship. Hey, that's my take on everything. Leave any comments in the comment section. Check out my other videos if you haven't. And hey, Khaliis out.